So we got a Harley Davidson today, 2007 Softail. You guys know the deal, whole shot power sports. It's Florida, it's hot. We're in the shade today. Sorry about the graphics, but it's like 90 degrees right there, and it's like 80 degrees over here. So we're gonna be in the shade. Let's go for a ride.
All right, so here we are on a 2007 Softail. Got the little bags on here. Got some nice Vance & Hines pipes. Can't go wrong with the Vance & Hines pipes. Sound good. I don't know, man, this bike feels a little peppier than stock, I will say. I don't know if it's tuned, has a Screaming Eagle intake, may have a little something. I'll be honest with you, has a little get up and go. But let's take it around this slow speed stuff and see how it handles. Got a pretty wide tire in the back, little skinny one in the front. Good old twin cam action. So not the most buzzy of Harley motors, but if you guys didn't know this, Harley motors are only buzzy at idle when the bike is sitting. Once you get going, they're actually really smooth. They smooth out. You don't really feel it much in the bars. You definitely feel it more than the Indians that I've been riding lately, but it's not that bad. It's really only at idle where you kind of feel that shake. Very grabby clutch. Transmission, man, it's clunky. You feel it. Wow, when you get into gear, you have that just like heft of it dropping into gear. So yeah, first 30-second impressions on this thing. This bike has a really soft and cushy seat. It is awesome. Check it out.
This seat, super cushy, super comfortable, holds you in place. Awesome seat.
Bike is very torquey, very smooth at the low end. Obviously at idle and going, you know, 1,000, 1,500 RPMs. It has a little bit of buzz in the handlebars, but it goes away as soon as you start kind of like accelerating. The bike accelerates easy and effortless. I haven't revved it too much, but having that little tiny front tire, it kind of swings back and forth really, really easily. The smaller the front tire, the quicker the bike is back and forth, and this has a little teeny tiny one. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll put the size up in right up here somewhere. That front tire is really tiny, so the bike actually moves back and forth pretty quickly, even given how fat that back tire is. Drop it in, whoop, goes and holds. And low end torque kind of just goes. I think this bike may have something done to it, man. It has a little bit of that 2,000 RPMs. Doesn't have that super pep that it does, but 3 to 4 it does. So I have a feeling this bike has some cams. This bike has to have cams. And talking about brake, I feel like the rear brakes are stronger than the front brakes on this thing. So it has a little teeny tiny dual piston, single-sided rotor. The front brakes definitely leave a little bit to be desired, very honest with you. The rear brakes I actually think are stronger. Yeah, the rear brakes are stronger than the front brakes on this bike. That is crazy. So yeah, definitely needs better brakes in the front, whether it be better pads or a bigger rotor. It's a little teeny tiny one.
Here's that itty bitty front brake I was telling you about. It's like the size of my hand. I don't know how big it is, but it's not very big. Definitely could use better front brakes. It legitimately has a larger rear brake, and you can feel that when you ride. The rear brake is stronger than the front brake. I don't get it at all, but it has pipes.
Yeah, this bike is cammed. I don't know what cam it has. I'm just a test ride. Like, I don't have much information, but this bike picks up a lot at the top end, especially for a twin cam, man. Most of the time they have a lot of grunt down low. Right here, 2,000-3,000, and then 4,000-5,000, it kind of tapers off, and this carries. So this definitely has a high power cam in it. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely not a factory cam for sure. The actual ride on this bike, it's fairly light. Baggers are heavy, but most of the bagger manufacturers do a great job keeping the weight down low and actually making it handle pretty easy. Having these bars up here, hands are kind of at a, I don't know, like a little bit down, kind of like this. It's a comfortable position. Thing has giant grips. It's a comfortable position. Honestly, I don't feel that much wind. Obviously, I'm not going that fast right now. I'm going like 35, but it's a clean gust of air. I don't feel any turbulence, and I'm behind a vehicle, which speaks very highly, because usually when you're behind vehicles, turbulence gets you. Mirrors, pretty clean, clear. I can see behind me. Again, I'm not going too fast. It sounds good. The bike has torque. It really does. It has like an instant twist of the throttle, kind of gets you moving pretty quickly. There's no doubt about it. I really do think that this bike has an aftermarket cam in it, 100%. That 4,000 to 5,000 RPM carry is a lot more than you get on a factory big twin. So this bike definitely has to have a cam and tune.
So I actually found out exactly what it is. This is a full Screaming Eagle Stage 2 kit. So it has the Screaming Eagle intake, Screaming Eagle cams, has Vance & Hines performance pipes, and it actually sounds really good. Take a listen.
Once we get past these cars, we'll get some passing power. This is cam for sure. Yeah, there's no way this bike is that fast. Alright, this is not the power section. This is not the power section. What are we talking about over here? Ergonomics, seated very comfortably. This bike has a nice little cup in the seat. It's holding me in place. I am not moving around. It is a nice cushy seat. Forward controls. My feet are out about 90 degrees at the hips, about 45 degrees out at the legs. Nice and wide in the front end. I can hold the tank, but the intake cleaner is obviously in the way. Honestly, nice, comfortable, ergonomic position for cruising and for the long haul. The bike's fairly smooth. Most Harleys, you're gonna feel a little bit more buzzing all the way around, but it's taking this little sweeper nice. One of the cool things that I noticed, obviously this is the gas cap, but that, I don't know, it has a little blue light to indicate where the fuel level is. Nice chrome though. Man, it's a solid hefty bike, man. I'm not feeling like I'm getting pushed around. The Messinets, or the Vance & Hines pipes though. One of the things that I always have to get used to on Harleys is like the older ones. Left turn signal, right turn signal. And I have to go in and out to stop it. They went away from that on some of the newer stuff, but it's still interesting. Oh, almost found it. Here we go. You guys know what section this is. And power! Yeah, this thing's cam, bro. Whoa! 100% cam. All right, cruising 70 miles an hour. I'm getting a clean gust of wind. I personally prefer a windshield, but it's a clean gust of wind. It's not bothering me. I do have to push myself forward, hold myself with my core to keep the wind off of me, and you feel it. But it's not a big deal because it's a clean gust of wind. The bike still handles very lightly, especially at speeds. That tiny, tiny front tire, for some reason, just makes the bike flick back and forth with ease. It's a well-balanced bike. Cruising is slowly taking off from this red light. Effortless, man. I'm giving it baby amounts of throttle. So it still has a lot of torque. If I'm not mistaken, this is the 6-speed. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yep. The acceleration is effortless. Whatever cams they have on this bike, it is beautiful, man. It actually makes power at the top end, which is really surprising. Most twins don't make power at the top end. You lose a little bit of the grunt down low, but I think it's a perfect trade-off. I always think that power at the top end is always a perfect trade-off, even if it's for a little grunt down low, because you get to have fun when you rev it. Overall feedback and summary, the bike cruises super duper smooth. Not a rough ride. It's very comfortable. It takes a lot of bumps. This road that I'm on has a bunch of like rock chips, so on most of the bikes that I ride on, you can feel the road a lot because it's a bunch of rocks, so you can feel the bike kind of shaking like this, and you can tell that it's an aggressive road, and I don't feel too much of that. So it's like not the smoothest thing I've been on, but it's not bad. The seat and the ergonomics are great for long road trips. Like, I can see this bike on the long haul. Personally, I think it needs a windscreen, but other than that, it's good, man. The bike will make it, the bike will move. The Vance & Hines pipes sound good. It's a solid bike, and man, twin cams have been around forever. You know the twin cams will kind of make power. They'll be reliable. They're not really, you know, there's not much to them that needs to get done, and anything that needs to get done, they have probably the largest aftermarket, you know, support that, you know, Harleys do. I know the M8s have a bunch now because they've been around for a few years, but it's always, you know, it's always good to know that if you get a used twin cam, it's going to make good power, it's going to feel good, it's going to run smooth. At this RPMs, 2500, I got a tiny bit of buzzing on the bars, but nothing crazy that's going to make my hands numb. It's just you feel it, you know, which some people like that. I'll tell you this, I just got off of my R1, and my R1 has more buzz. And this bike, having cams, has this. Whee! Hold on with the wind when you go that fast, for sure. Right here, cruising 65 miles an hour, 6th gear. It's butter. suspension, I could see your legs and hands getting a little tingly over an extended period of time. We're talking 2 hours, 3 hours. When you're getting through those 200 miles, 300 miles, I can definitely see your body kind of feeling it and getting buzzy. I don't know if you guys have ridden for a really long time, but when you go on long rides and you get off the bike, a lot of the time your body will feel that tingle over an extended period of time, and once you get off, you'll feel like your body's still tingling after the ride. This bike will 100% do that to you. And most bikes will. It's very rare for me to find a bike that doesn't. It eats up all the big bumps for sure.
This one actually has these cool little added bags. Definitely awesome for loading up the luggage, especially if you can use this little pizza tray.
All right, here we go. Full send, first gear. Whatever cam this is, it's a nice cam. It makes it pull at the top, which is the thing that I usually dislike about the big twins, about the original, you know, the factory cams, is they don't make any power up top. This does. I like it. Whatever cam this is, great cam. Other than that, final thoughts on the bike. Overall smooth bike. Definitely not the best long trip bike. You can put a windshield on it and make it the most comfortable, but you will get a little buzzy. Ergonomically speaking, my body's in a great position. My ass is nice and soft, it's cushy. It has a nice comfortable seat, which I'll go ahead, I showed it earlier in the video. Legs are in a comfortable position. I can be seated like this for hours. It has a lot of torque, so it takes a little bit of throttle input. I personally would prefer a lot more front brake, but that's just me. Really, it feels like the rear brakes are stronger than the front brakes, which is freaking weird, but it is what it is. Honestly, overall, comfortable bike, easy to flick around. That small front tire kind of keeps it really flicky back and forth. It's a Softail, and it's a perfect bike for the Softail riders. If you like Softails, you know exactly who you are, and it definitely delivers. I like myself a Dyna though. Me personally, I prefer the Dynas over the Softails. I don't know why. They're a little bit more rugged. These are actually more comfortable than Dynas for sure, but I prefer the little bit more rugged feel of a Dyna. This cam, this engine, it's been around forever. It's a staple. There's a reason for it. It's a good running bike, man. It sounds good. It delivers in the power that it needs to. And this cam for sure wakes it up.
So overall, it's a solid bike, man. The cams literally wake it up. I enjoy revving. I enjoy making power at the top end. And this Stage 2 Screaming Eagle kit definitely does it. Appreciate you guys watching. If you want to see me do more bike reviews, check out this one right here. And next, we got a road glide.